All right. Hello, my name is Christopher Burge, and this is assignment 4 for my management class at CCC. I couldn't remember if you wanted my ID just in case. It's right there, just so you see it. And there's me. All right. So let's get started. So like I did last semester, I'm just go through the questions, read the question, go to the term, read the term, the definition, and explain from there. But first, you wanted a couple sentences on the two articles. So the first article was over how Coca-Cola had beat the people. They beat the analysts by like 2 cents. It was also saying how uh, they did better during the global shutdown than they did uh, when it was just getting started. So um, the, that's the first one. It also talks about how a lot of the corporations like McDonald's and AMC and some of the other ones that usually sell its product have had to shut its doors all the way or closed down some branches, and that affected the price too. But it still had a better quarter than the second quarter, which was supposedly the best one. The second article was about Coca-Cola and their new technology that they have invented, where it's like a freestyle QR code, like you see at Walmart. I know they have some of those. Just specific QR codes where you can have your own drink. You can save the drink that you like, and it has its own special barcode. It's a non-touch thing just to deal with the pandemic, and so it just goes on to talk about that and how it is. It tried to it's starting to get ahead of the game. How they started developing it when the coronavirus, like a week after the coronavirus started, and it's saying how they have already started producing the. Oh man, I can't speak. The the machines that produce or that have the QR code technology on them. They have already started handing them out, and I think, well, yeah, the article is from July of this year, so supposedly they would have like a couple thousand machines done and distributed by the summer, and then all the ones that they wanted done by the end of the year, which has not happened. But yeah, so they're trying to disperse all these machines. They already have some like in Wendy's and stuff that allow you to push buttons on the touch screen. Just it's their new technology. So this is their next step. So that is my I guess synopsis or my overview of all of both of the articles. All right. So getting into the questions, there are 4, 5, 6 of them. All right. So I have them all numbered. The first one says, refer to Chapter 3, identify at least two components from the general environment that are currently affecting Coke. And then it says, be sure to add examples and stuff. All right. So for question 1, I have the definition for general environment is consists of the economy and the technology, sociocultural, and political slash legal trends that indirectly affect all organizations. The two that I chose that for this question were technological and political slash legal. The first one, technological, is because they have made a new technology. They have advanced technology to keep up with the pandemic, and that is their component to the general environment right now because the general environment is the panic of the pandemic. And I chose the second one, the political slash legal, because they have to go by all the laws and the rules, and their business environment is being affected by the laws of all the cities and different shutdown laws, all the legal stuff that they have to go through. Even with the producing the product, their employees have to wear safety equipment now. Everybody's got to wear a mask. They might have to what is it called? They might have to distribute those themselves to their employees. They might have to buy that. They have to spend extra money either way. And out of that, out of the political and legal, where they made all the laws, has made them advance their technology again, which was my first general environment that I chose. All right. The examples for that is the technology, which is the QR code. That's the example and the evidence that shows that one. The political and legal one is the my evidence for that, or my specific example for that is that a lot of the businesses that sold their product had to shut down due to the coronavirus, due to the laws that the states have passed. So those are my examples. Question 2. Refer to Chapter 3. Identify at least 3 components from the specific environment that are currently affecting Coke. So the specific environment is unique to the firm's industry and directly affects the way it conducts day-to-day business. Also, specific environment, the customers, competitors, suppliers, industry regulation, and advocacy groups that are unique to an industry and directly affect how a company does business. So the 3 that I have chose for the specific environment are the customer. The customer is affected because they made a technology that the customer has to use. The customer, he's got. It said they don't have to have an app, but I'm pretty sure, or it'll affect them more if they don't have an app, or if they do have an app than if they don't, because if they do, it'll affect them. They have to download an app. It saves their drink, and they don't have to go through all the problems of restarting, repicking. They just scan it and it starts doing the drink. The second one is the competitor. So they have a really good competitor advantage here. Sustainable competitive advantage, which I might mention later on. But because they're ahead of the game in this technology, a non-touch technology, I'm sure other people are trying to have tried and probably are right now trying to duplicate it. But just like Coke's product, you can't duplicate Coke. I mean, Pepsi tastes way different than Coke, and that was a trying to do Coke. Again, but Pepsi, you don't get the right mixtures and all that kind of stuff. So again, it's their technology, and I'm sure they have it patented already. I'm not sure, I don't know too much about patents, but I know you probably don't want to share them because that's just giving your enemy an advantage that they don't need. Because if they get it, then you have to advance further. The next one is going to be the industry regulations. Due to the coronavirus, as I mentioned, a lot of the stores shut down. Coke, I'm just assuming, I don't have proof on this, but I'm assuming just because every other business has done this, has probably shut down a couple of its, what are they called, where they produce the drinks, due to keeping their employees safe. So they also have had to take different safety precautions. The industry regulation is also like they had to make a new technology that that regulates how we interact, the customer interacts with the machine, to where we don't have to touch it, don't share germs with the surface. All right. Question number 3. Discuss Coke's greatest strengths as well as Coke's greatest weaknesses. Let's see. Strengths. Coke's strengths, again, are that they're not let's see, how do you say that? Duplicable, I think is the name. Duplicatable. I don't know which one. Whereas their drink can't be like remade and sold and taste the exact same. There's a reason people buy Coke, is because they're a really specific taste. They have a really specific mixture that they do for their drink, and nobody can really compete with that. And I'm sure they've tried and they can't. Again, that is another view of their sustainable competitive advantage. So that's their strength. I would also say that their workforce is their strength, and having all of the restaurants and the movie theaters and all that, that has been mentioned in these articles. I would say that having all of those sell your product means that they have a really big impact. Like they are the go-to producer drink. I mean, they own so many different drink lines in the soda line that it just they've cornered the market on that. It's crazy. So that's their strengths, and also just that they're well known, and they're also another strength would be that they outdo the people, the predictors, the people who say, oh, Coke's gonna go down, oh, Coke's not gonna do well, and then they beat them. I would view that as a strength because like if they're gonna go above and beyond and blow people's suggestions out of the water, like that's a pretty good business. That shows power and that shows strength. Um, all right, so weaknesses. So weaknesses, they're not able to predict, as mentioned in the article, they're not able to predict how the consumer will uh, will adapt to this technology. They have like they even mentioned it in there. I don't know the exact words, but the exact or close to the exact words were they can't wait to see how the consumer deals with this new technology and how they like it. So it's not predictable, and they're not able to know how the consumer will react. So I would say that's their biggest weakness right now in advancing this new technology, that they don't know how it's going to go over. They can't predict it. Um, Question number 4, and both of these is the SWOT, just in case. The SWOT, so um, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So that's the whole SWOT process that we learned about in Introduction to Business. Actually, I think was the class that we learned that. And so that's just talking about the business that we're talking about, whichever one it might be. The threats that Coke is facing right now and could be facing and are facing are the coronavirus. The coronavirus has again made a lot of their business go out, as in some of the stores. AMC has completely shut down. I think they just opened up. I follow them on my stock exchange, but I think they had just started opening back up. But in the third quarter, they were closed. We might still be in the third quarter, but either way, that is a huge thing. People, when they went to the theater, they buy Coke products from the Coke machines. I used to live in Florida, and so I'd go to downtown Disney and go to the AMC theater there, and they had the push button ones, a whole line of them. But imagine it being out right now. Their business is shut down due to the coronavirus. So that's a threat. It can and did and will affect Coke's revenue and how much money they make. The shutdown, again, with the coronavirus, that is also a threat. They don't know if everything's going to shut back down now that it's opening back up. They don't know. Again, they can't predict the unknown. They don't know how things are going to happen. So if everything shuts back down to where it was or even further, then Coke's third quarter, fourth quarter, next year is not going to be too well. Again, another threat is not being able to predict. They don't know how this technology is going to go over. They don't know how the coronavirus is going to go over. They can't predict anything as of right now. Another threat could be they might have in the future have to lay off workers, or at least like have them go on a leave of absence due to safety reasons for the coronavirus. Or they may have to shut down plants. You never know. Again, that goes along with the not being able to predict. I would say an opportunity for this, just reading the article, is the technology. Their opportunity is getting ahead. Their opportunity is to not only have a drink, the actual drink, Coke drink, putting them at a sustainable competitive advantage where nobody else can duplicate it. This technology may turn out the same way. Again, it's not predictable, but it may. So they're getting ahead of the game, and if they patent it and nobody figures it out, then That's their opportunity right now. They also have the opportunity to help out the communities, help out the world with the drinks, because it's a non-touch thing. So their opportunity is to help people through the coronavirus because they're creating a non-touch machine. And so yeah, that's question 4. That's the whole SWOT. So question 3 and 4 cover the SWOT method. And now question number 5. Refer to chapter 6. What corporate level strategy do you think would be most advantageous for Coke? Be specific and explain your answer. So for number 5, I actually chose 2. I couldn't choose between two of them. I chose grand strategies as the first one, or growth strategies. My bad. Or grand strategies. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So growth. Sorry, they were right next to it. I thought I was messing up. So growth strategy. Growth strategy is a strategy that focuses on increasing profits, revenues, market share, or the number of places in which the company does business. I chose this one because they need to grow. They need to make a profit. If they're not careful and focusing on increasing their profit, especially right now, they could essentially lose money. They could lose stock, lose revenue, lose capital. They could lose all of that. They could even lose their market share, which, as it said, it went up 4%, I think. So I don't see that, but definitely could go the other way. Again, they can't predict. They don't know. Um, and and it says, or the number of places in which the company does business. The number of places they do business has been affected by the coronavirus. They AMC went out. McDonald's closed down some of their branches. Just different places that sold the product, have gone out. But they need to focus on getting those back. They need to focus on looking at new people to buy their products. And they need to look at new stores that will sell their products. Because if another pandemic hits, then the same thing is just going to repeat itself. So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, they need to make sure that they keep their profits up, and they need to increase it. Every business just needs to continue to try and do better and increase profit, while being economically, socially helpful. But for the business point, they need to be that. The other one was the stability strategy, a strategy that focuses on improving the way in which the company sells the same products or services to the same customers. So they have done that. They have done a really good job at that right now. They're trying to figure out a machine, and have figured out a machine, according to these, that sells a product for or to the same customers, but they improve the way that they're selling it to them. They're making sure that they're looking out for their customers, to making a non-touch thing so they don't get the coronavirus. So that's question 5. Number 6? What industry level strategy do you think Coke should adopt in order to stay ahead of its competition? Be specific and explain your answer. So the answer to number 6, I chose the adoptive strategy. Adoptive strategy are another set of industry level strategies. Whereas the aim of positioning strategies is to minimize the effects of industry competition and build a stabilized competitive advantage, the purpose of advantageous strategies is to choose an industry-level strategy that is best suited to changes in the organization's external environment. So I chose that because they need to adapt to the external part of the business. So the coronavirus is affecting the world around them. Again, I'm not too sure if they have closed any plants, but that would be internal. But they're doing a good job at being adaptive because they're making a machine that helps with the non-touch surfacing for the coronavirus. So that helps them out. And they're adapting to their surroundings, which is just a really good business. If you can adapt, if bad things happen and you can adapt to it, then that's really good. So that is the strategy that I think Coke should adopt in order to stay ahead of its competition. And like I said, they have, but I think they should just continue doing it. They need to come up with more inventions. They can always improve. Every business can always improve, no matter what, or no matter how good their product is. So, um, that's my assignment 4. Hopefully you liked it. I tried to go as fast as I could, but again, I guess it turned into a 20-minute video. So, sorry about that. Hopefully it uploads. And thank you.